Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video and talk about a book that just ended, and I sat down and I read the whole series, beginning to end, so I could, just enjoy it for the 7 issues it was. Um, and that series was Arcadia. Um, this story is written by Alex Packnabel. The art on it is by Eric Scott Pfeiffer. The lettering on it, most importantly, the lettering on this book is by Colin Bell. So I give letterers crap a lot of times, or I don't give them any notice. I don't talk about them on books or whatever. I'm a huge colorist fan, and so I don't normally talk about letterers. However, when I looked up Colin Bell, Colin Bell does lettering on Venus that I read, Snowblind that I read, Fiction that I read, which was awesome. Everybody should go out and check out Fiction. That was awesome. The Tomorrows that I read, Mayday that I read, Curb Stomp that I read, Ufology that I read. The only series that he does lettering on that I haven't read is a series called uh, And There Emily Was Gone, which is apparently a webcomic, so I don't know, man. But Colin Bell's lettering on this book is by far the best part of this book. This was a really, really horrible series, and I wouldn't recommend that anybody go out and pick this up. I won't say that about too many books, but I read this in individual issues and was not a huge fan of it. And then I went back and I sat down and I read all of it. And while it's got some really good art, man, Eric Scott, what's his name? Eric Scott Pfeiffer. His art on this is really, really good. And the covers I really enjoy on this series. But uh, all in all, it was just really, really confusing. And there was way too much for me going on in it. So the basic gist of Arcadia is that there's a virus that wipes out pretty much everybody on the earth. And there is a computer program that they can enter you into, and you basically get stored on a hard drive. And, you can pretty much do anything inside these worlds that you want to do. And the gist of it is that they want to try to get a cure. Like they've got a server that's got like all the world's best scientists or whatever on it, and they want to get a cure, try to develop a cure. And, each of these servers is kind of their own thing. Well, so the the meat, which is the people that are not in Arcadia, they like run everything. And they have to stay alive because if they don't stay alive, Arcadia just dies because it's basically just computer servers. So they have to stay alive. But there's a conflict that starts between the people on the outside, the meat, and the Arcadians on the inside, that the Arcadians are kind of like, they want to take away all our freedoms and this, that, and the other. That's the one thing I can say good about this book, I guess, is that there was an underlying tone of how far do you go surrendering your civil liberties um, in order to survive, I guess, or have an ending. How far would you surrender your civil liberties? That was kind of cool. Um, but there is this child that's born inside Arcadia because you can formulate a child based upon memories that are just like data that's out there, and you can formulate another person. The only problem with that is that when you formulate this person, they don't conform to the boundaries of Arcadia. They can see the code and everything that's going on and manipulate things, just right, left, and center. So there's this huge civil war that goes on between the people in the meat and the Arcadians. and nothing's ever really resolved on that. And then there's this kid that can see code, and he's like, the golden child, but they never really go anywhere with that. And then there's this relationship between this guy that's on the outside and his family that's on the inside that he's not supposed to be doing, but that never really goes anywhere. And then the, like, I guess, big end game um, didn't really have anything to do with anything that was going on in the book that I cared about. Just all in all, man, was just not an enjoyable comic for me. Like I said, the only thing that I can say just awesome about this is that the covers on it were awesome, and that Colin Bell's lettering. There must be something that goes on with Colin Bell's lettering that I enjoy, because all of these series that he does the lettering on are really, really easy to read, and flow with the way that everything's done. I don't know how much actual like input that a letterer has on the way that the pages are scripted, but it seems to me that the way his things are done flows so well that I enjoy the majority of the series that he does lettering on, and I really have to go out and look up this web comic that he does, because really, really, really enjoyable. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here and get around talking about some more books.